if or maybe or we're just playing spoiler. No, we are legitimately in playoff contention, and it feels different. It feels much different than we had
Dude,
before.
it's a bye week, ready to go. It's a winning season in Washington, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. And for our subscribers, Burgundy Ballers, welcome back to the first bye week edition here on the Ballin In Burgundy podcast. Yeah, just myself, John Rock tonight, but I got the fellas, OTF on the fence. I got Reb, I got Kenny G. What is going on, fellas?
What's going on, John? How are you?
Good man, good man. How are y'all doing?
Doing good, man. All jacked up on Mountain Dew about this 8-5 record right now, bro.
Man, we were talking about this all before we started. I have not felt excited and had a winning record going into a late bye week ever, but
Yeah.
ever maybe,
Ever, ever. I
man.
think I think I think we may need to stamp that ever, man. Put some emphasis on that ever because this bye week, I've never had this feeling before. Normally, when we have our buys, we typically, or even just late into the season, the fact that we have such playoff hopes and aspirations and their reality. It's not like a if or a maybe or we're just playing spoiler. No, we are legitimately in playoff contention, and it feels different. It feels much different than we had
Dude,
before.
dude, it feels amazing. But we got a lot to talk about, guys. Before we get into this, don't forget to like and subscribe here on B. Road to 500 subscribers by Christmas, and that might extend to New Year's. It's still on the road. We're about 80 or so there. So if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. Instagram and TikTok at Ballin In Burgundy Podcast. Twitter at BIB Podcast 22 because Twitter hates longer usernames. And then get the fellas OTF podcast on the fence podcast at 250. They're about 130 away. Get them there. Go follow them on X. Go follow them on
Yeah.
Instagram. If they got a Facebook, go follow them. All their links and their personal links, Reb Creative and at Kenny G down in the description. Go give them a watch. Go give them a subscribe. Man, it's always a blast seeing y'all at the parking lots, giving interviews, talking to other content creators at the game. It's always a blast watching some of that.
Yes,
Appreciate it,
sir.
man.
Yeah,
Usually a
man.
lot of fun.
Man, gotta show love and gotta give the flowers where flowers are due. But let's get into this bye week, man. 8-5, winning record with playoff contention and playoff hopes. If I had told y'all going into week 14, going into the bye, we would be 8-5, be the seventh seed in the wild card. We've got like six Pro Bowlers, and all pros on the team. I think y'all would have called me a liar.
Probably.
For sure. I would have said just smoking something.
I would have been like, y'all give you like maybe two of those. 'Cause, Bobby Wagner is a lock.
Yeah.
I was feeling real good about Frankie Louvu and Revo. He always do all pro Revo. They don't call him that
Mm-hmm.
for no reason, but like not like this though, bro.
No, you know what it is, man. The Pro Bowl, especially, it's a popularity contest. So the
Yeah.
fact that we are actually a popular team, I mean, we didn't know that we would have our rookie sensation in Jayden Daniels. I mean, he's our GOAT. He's the reason why we're getting so much attention towards
Yeah.
our team right now. So the fact of the matter is, I didn't think that anyone were gonna get any Pro Bowl votes. To be quite honest, maybe like I said, Revo, maybe Tress, maybe some guys who've done it before, potentially Louvu since he was a big sign, and Bobby Wagner, of course,
Yeah.
they're popular guys and they've been there before and they were our marquee signings. But other than that, man, who would have thought?
No, not me. Hey, not me. Yeah, let's talk on that Pro Bowl because they released the top 10, list earlier in the week. At QB, Jayden Daniels has the fourth most votes overall and the first QB and his best votes in the NFC
Yeah.
as a rookie quarterback.
I'm, I'm
Who,
gonna move out the way so y'all can see that
yeah,
five in my background.
QB5 right up there, right behind Rev as he's probably pointed to Terry. Um, like we hit a three game skid mark in Philly, Pittsburgh, Dallas, and we decided to go blow out Tennessee. Granted, I think the pick was more on Zach than Jayden. That's neither here nor there. But like 15 total touchdowns, six interceptions, like 2,600 passing yards, another like 500 on the ground.
Mm.
If you had said he would have been a Pro Bowler, I said I could see it, but I would have thought Jalen, Dak, Brock, Kyler, um, Stafford. Like I thought they would get the nod, but Jaden being fourth overall and first in the NFC, it's just mind blowing.
Yeah, it's really amazing to think that, we said it at early in the season as
Hmm.
Commanders fans because we just feel that way about our opponents, but
Yeah,
we were saying we have the best quarterback in the NFC East, and Jayden has just gone ahead and taken our feet out of our mouths for us with his play.
Crown.
Like
Yep.
hmm
he's just
Crowned
making us
him.
right as fans and giving it, yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Put that crown
That's
on
the
their head.
energy.
You know what I'm saying? Because Jayden has been holding it down in that category. Like he's just continuously elevating his play, even when over the last 3 weeks, because I'm not gonna pretend like that didn't happen. Like those
right.
last 3 weeks were bad prior to that Tennessee game. I can't pretend that
Mm.
didn't happen, but his bad was like some of the past quarterbacks we've had here is good. Like Jaden's worst
Yep.
game is like Sam Howell's best game. Like it's really crazy to think
Yeah,
about that. Or like his worst game is like a good game for Sam Howell, which is crazy to think
yeah,
that.
man. And poor Sam Howell. Like I love Sam too. Great guy, friend of the show.
Me too.
Um, like I love Sam. But Bieniemy did him no favors.
Hmm.
Ron did him
Zero.
no favors,
Hmm.
man. And
Zero.
I'll talk about Bieniemy here in a minute because boy, he's got his own problems from
Oh
UCLA.
man. Yeah,
But
we'll get into that.
we'll talk about it later,
Hmm.
man. But going back to the offense, like at receiver, Terry's third overall or fourth overall at wide receiver, second overall as the NFC wide receiver. Tyler Biotish is ninth overall at center, but fifth in the NFC. So he'll probably be like an alternate backup. But Terry being the second best wide receiver chosen in the NFC, just behind Justin Jefferson, because who doesn't love Jay Jettis? Who
Hmm.
like I voted for Jay
I
Jettis. I
would
ain't
too.
even gonna lie. But if you had said he was gonna get over AJ Brown, CD Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Cooper Cup, Puka Nakua, Marvin Harrison, Debo, Ayuk, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Um, I'm missing a whole lot of guys, but there is what nine I just listed right there that six of them have already been Pro Bowls. All like Mike Evans for like he's missed like 4 games. He still might break that 1,000 yards in the next 5 games. Chris Godwin done for the season. Oh, I think he would have been an All Pro Bowler. Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup should be in the Pro Bowl because they're always open for Stafford. Never in my wildest dreams, but I thought, hey, Terry, by the way, you're going to be like the fifth or the fourth voted overall wide receiver, but you're going to be the second one for the NFC. You're going to be a starter in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. And also, not only is he doing that, he's doing that with the least touches out of all of those top 10 guys. All of
Yeah.
those,
Yeah,
like, he has way less touches by like what, 20 less touches? Like, it's
I will look.
crazy.
I will tell you. I will look it up, my friend.
A
Don't you
significant
worry.
amount. It was 20
It,
to 30,
it's a
actually.
lot.
Because isn't
Significant.
he
It,
like the least targeted or like he has the least
100%.
receptions?
yeah.
He has the least targets out of anyone in the top 10.
Yeah. So I no. Let's at least targeted, yes, and receptions wise, no.
Yes.
But out of the top five, which is Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Terry, Brock Bowers, gotta give credit to Brock Bowers. That man is gonna
Well,
be a
He's on my
star in this
fantasy.
league,
putting the wide receiver
Mm.
numbers at tight
man.
Oh
end is
man,
crazy.
Jesus,
killing it on my fantasy.
man, and CD Lamb. So Jamar has 109 targets. Justin Jefferson has 100. Brock has 113. CD has 124. Terry's got 82. Receptions. Jamar and CD are tied at 79. Justin's got 68. Brock's got 84. And Terry's got 61.
One.
So
Yeah.
Wow.
61 receptions on 896 yards. He's averaging 14.7 yards a reception. You give Terry the ball, you got a first down and a half.
Hmm.
Come on
Easy.
now.
And we still have
Easy.
4 games left. So you're telling me in 4 games, you can't get him over 1,000, over 1,100? If he averaged like 80 yards a game,
Hmm.
he's breaking 1,100. And I can
Definitely.
guarantee you there's 3 touchdowns sprinkled in there. He's going to get to 11 touchdowns or 10 touchdowns.
He should be there already if he just kept
He's
his
he,
feet.
yeah, if he kept his feet, he has 9 right now. He would have like 4. He would have had like 2 in the
14
Cincinnati.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Man,
I'm telling
I
you. It wouldn't even be a question. The
no,
argument would be crazy. Terry would be the number one receiver in the league if he was at
Hmm.
13, 14 TDs as he
man.
should be. Oh my gosh.
I
It's
remember
just amazing to
seeing
think.
I remember seeing memes after like the Bengals game, after the Arizona game. Like
Hmm.
if Terry would just hit the square button, if he would just hit
That's
the
it.
jump button, the way Najee hits the hurdle button, he would have another like 200 yards and like five TDs. He's like, it's not even like he's losing speed. He's got the speed. They just catching up to him. You don't got the acceleration. You don't got the turbo in the back pocket.
You
Yeah.
know, Terry's my guy, and
Yeah.
he's like one of my favorite players of all time right now. But he reminds me of the kid from Little Giants who could only catch like the toilet paper. That's kind of the vibe I get from Terry. No offense, Terry. Terry, you know I love you, bro. That's not a slight, but he was clutch. He caught the ball when they needed him
Yeah.
to catch
Yeah.
it, and that's just kind of what I get from Terry because he's like such a sure body catcher, and that's like toilet paper for Terry. Like if
Mm.
it's a body catch, toilet paper, he
Yeah.
catching it every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
That's crazy. Well, so Terry is second in the league in receiving touchdowns. He's tied with Amon-Ra at 9. Only Jamar is more at 13. But when he's averaging like 4 touchdowns a game these past few games, it makes sense why Jamar's got so many. But if you again, you were to tell me he'd be third in the league at receiving yards, second at touchdowns, but he has 20 less receptions and targets than anyone in the top 10 or anyone in the top 5, I would have said, are we looking at the same offense right now?
How?
Yeah.
I'd ask you how.
Yeah. Why? I would have called up my friends over at Before the Bell, and I would have said, what kind of narcotics are you on?
John, let's really keep in mind though, John. Let's truly keep in mind. Do you remember at the beginning of the season where Terry was not even getting the ball?
Nope.
Yeah.
And people were questioning, was he a wide
Wide
receiver
receiver
one?
one,
Or
man,
we should, there were even some people saying we should trade Terry. I was like,
dude.
Crazy
what?
talk.
I
That's,
remember,
you
I
like
remember
Twitter
the
was in a frenzy.
yeah, it was rough. I remember this off season with them saying, hey, is Terry a number one? Is he an alpha one? Is he the guy that's your game changer? I'm not gonna say I have never said he's gonna be a top 5 receiver. I would have said he'll be at that 8 or 9, or he'll be at
Right.
that 11 and 12. You know, the window looking in because there's so many great wide receivers,
Mhm.
so young too. Like these guys aren't like your
Yeah.
29, 30s. You come out of college,
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Harrison Jr., dog. Malik Neighbors,
Dog,
dog.
Dog.
dog. Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, dog.
Dog.
CeeDee Lamb, dog.
Dog.
AJ Brown, even though he won the second round in 2019, dog.
Dog.
Um, I mean this next year, Territorial McMillan, dog. Luther Burden, dog. Emeka Ibuka, dog.
Dog.
Travis Hunter,
Dog.
dog. And
Certified.
and probably gonna be he will. I love Ashton Genty. I really, really love Ashton Genty.
Mhm.
We have not seen a running back like we haven't seen one since Melvin Gordon, but really in college doing what he's doing
Right.
since your Barry Sanders. But I truly think Travis is going to win the Heisman, and that is not a slight. That's not being disrespectful because he has earned it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What he's done this season: 11 receiving touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Like he has earned it. But if this was the year to have co-Heismans, this would be the year to have co-Heismans.
Yeah.
Will it happen? No, but it is what it is. But yeah, like I'm trying to pull up the Terry stats, but it like I was talking with this with Reedy and Z, with Tone, with a few others. Like his season on receiving yards it's like a bad heartbeat in the hospital. It's up and down, flat line, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but I think this season, what I've loved to see about Terry is even though the yards haven't been as consistent game to game, the touchdowns have been.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. So and I'll put this on the edit when I go back. So week 1, 2 receptions, 17 yards on 4 targets. Week 2, 6 for 22, 4 for 100, 7 for 52, 4 for 112, 6 for 53, 6 for 98, 5 for 125, 2 for 19, 5 for 113, 1 for 10 against Philly, 5 for 102, but it would have been 5. It would have been 4 for 20 if it wasn't for that 86-yard touchdown, and then against the Tennessee, 8 for 73. The first 5 games of the season, he had 3 games of 50 and less, 2 games of 30, of 25 and less.
Yeah.
I get it. The offense was still, churning wheels, churning butter. It was slow to start the game, or slow to start the year. How do you only have 39 receiving yards in the first 2 games as your alpha receiver?
Crazy.
Guys like Alec Pierce get more. Jared Judy would have had more. You could have told me Juju would have had more by then, and I would have believed you.
Yep.
Yeah. What's his name? Westbrook Ikine from the Titans.
Oh,
He guys like him get more. Like,
man.
mhm.
No business being as good as he is with those touchdowns.
Yeah.
No bit. Because I think he's like, what is a Keeney right now in the NFL? Like, he has like 9 receiving touchdowns.
He's 9.
He's
Yeah, he's 9.
he's
He's
going
tied.
Yeah.
crazy right now.
Or no, he has,
And they all
he
came in the second half of the season.
Isn't
yeah,
he in a contract year though?
yeah, he'll be a free agent.
Keep
Dude,
an eye on that guy.
Akine has 20 receptions, 365 yards, 8 touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, keep an
20
eye on that guy.
receptions, 8 touchdowns. That is
I liked what I saw from him on
insane.
Sunday. I liked what I
Man.
saw from him on Sunday. So keep an eye on that guy, Adam Peters.
Yeah. Man, Akine will do his job. But then going back to the Pro Bowl thing, the defense, Dante Fowler is because he's listed as an outside linebacker. That's totally fine. Edge is always a weird thing. How they'll say in in the draft, they're drafting linebacker Micah Parsons. He plays linebackers, but he's really more of an edge. T.J. Watt, really more of an edge. So as outside linebacker, he comes in 5th overall, 3rd in the NFC. Frankie Louvu, 9th overall, 4th in the NFC. So 2 of your best defensive players are gonna be Pro Bowlers. You love to see it. Because if we had said, oh, Dante Fowler is gonna be on pace for 11 sacks and a Pro Bowl, I would have said, I would love for that to happen, but it ain't gonna happen. But it's happening.
No, it's happening. It's happening, man. The
It's
dogs
happening.
have been released. We got 2 dogs on the edge. I mean,
Mhm.
Fowler, dog. Okay.
Yep.
Luvu,
Ooh,
dog.
dog.
Luvu plays with his hair on fire.
God.
He plays with no type of. I'm talking about he's a crash dummy, like legitimately. If you watch
I
the way he
can't.
plays, he even when he makes bad plays, like even when he misses plays, he's a crash dummy. I'm talking about I see
He's
him
missing at
flying
100
into
miles
the
per hour.
backfield. He 100 miles per hour. Even when he makes a bad play, he's still going 100 miles per hour. I love that about Luvu. Luvu brings
You
it
gotta do it.
each and every freaking play. It does not matter what he's doing, where he is on the field. He's going to fly around. That boy flies around. So I love Louisville for that. The energy that he brings. We said oots.
Man.
Oots. Yeah, he
Oops.
brings that energy, man.
Yep. Dude,
Yeah.
and then Wagner as inside linebacker, he's 4th in the NFL, 2nd in the NFC. Jeremy Chin has strong safety, 8th in the NFL, 4th overall. Pro Bowl Revo on special teams, 9th overall, 5th in the NFC. So he'll probably be a reserve or an alternate, but you're gonna have 3 to 4 on offense, 3 to 4 on defense. Like you could legitimately have 6 Pro Bowl starters with 2 to 3 alternates. Sure as hell didn't have that last year
No.
or the year
No.
before. Like I don't think there was more than 10 Pro Bowlers in the Ron Rivera era in Washington overall. I think Cosme was one of them.
I don't think Cosby ever got a Pro Bowl.
I think Cosme has 1 Pro Bowl. I think it was last year. Or he might have been second team.
We had Brandon Sheriff.
Brandon
get a
Sheriff.
Pro Bowl. Yep.
Yeah, Brandon Sheriff, Jonathan Allen. I think
Jonathan
had one.
Allen,
Duran.
Terry, Tress.
Oh,
Tress
Tress,
went pretty much
obviously.
every year
And
of
Revo.
the
Yeah.
Rivera thing.
And Revo.
That's it.
7th.
That's it.
That's it.
And we have that.
Chase Young.
I don't think
Yep.
Chase got a Pro Bowl.
Chase did get a Pro Bowl his rookie
Oh, he did.
year.
He did.
Oh, his rookie
year.
relevant.
His rookie
Okay.
year. That's
So
it.
8.
Mhm.
So 8. So we have 8 in 1 year.
Dang, Tez never got one. Isn't that crazy?
Montez, man.
That's crazy. Tez never went to a Pro Bowl when he was with us. I mean, he's probably gonna go this year, but he never went to a Pro Bowl with us.
I don't even know if he's going this year.
I
Bro.
don't think he's
Yeah,
on
the
this
Bears
year.
kind of fizzled out. So
I think what does he have like 4.5 sacks, 5.5 sacks?
I'll look real quick, but I don't even think it's that many.
Yeah, but with Tez, his presence is always more on the pressures.
Pressures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
his presence doesn't show
pressure,
up on the
run
stat
game,
line.
sets the edge.
Yeah.
Montez Sweat. Oh, you were on the money. 4.5 sacks this
That's
season.
what I figured. 4.5. Yeah.
Four and a half and a
I mean,
forced fumble.
even when they came in to play us, he had 3.5. So he's only had a
Hmm.
sack since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I,
with that, that's what I'm saying. So what you were talking about, let's weigh in on it. We're talking about the
Yep.
Ron Rivera era and the difference between then and now and how things have just changed in 1 year. Ron had all those years as the GM and head coach. We
Yep.
shipped out all of our first rounders. I think that's been the narrative on social
Yeah.
media for the past, week or so.
Yeah.
Everyone's been talking about how all of our first round picks have been shipped out,
Mhm.
and it's just interesting to see. And we tried, man. We really tried. Like we tried with Jamin Davis. We tried
Oh
with
yeah.
Forbes.
They really
Hell,
tried to give Jamin Davis a shot. Like
Yeah.
I could tell that coaching staff like really was like, let's find something to do with this guy. Even with Emmanuel, like
he
I
has
think they
talent.
they did a super solid for Emmanuel, like how they treated him. Like they really gave him an opportunity.
Yeah.
Joe Witt went up to bat for him anytime media tried to say anything crazy about him, all that. But you just it's either I don't know, like a square peg fits
Right.
in the square
Circle hole.
hole
Yeah.
There you
in the
go.
circle. It's just one of those things. Like
It's
Yeah.
simple. I mean, that's what it comes down to, man. It's just an interesting time to be living because it's like a reality check, like right in the gut, like pow.
Hmm.
Because even us as fans, like we Ron was making us believe. Like,
yeah,
do
he
you
did.
remember
Yeah,
when his infomercial for Emmanuel Forbes when we had they had the NFL
season.
special and
Yep.
he had his guy and his sights set on
Set.
Forbes, okay? Prior even to the draft, it was like, yeah, you watched him he was in the car on an
Hmm.
interview and they were doing the special on him. And he was like, yeah, man, we got our guy straight out of Mississippi
Hmm.
State.
Hmm.
Forbes,
Had the
man, if he's
Rollie
there,
and
he had the
everything.
rollie on and everything. He was like, yeah, man, we got our guy. And I was
Yep.
like, who the hell is your guy? Because Christian Gonzalez was sitting right there. It
Hmm.
was like he just blocked out everyone, had his sights set on Forbes, and shoot, I mean, it crashed and burned. I promise you that. I don't know what else to say, man. When it comes down to the Ron Rivera era, man, it was a it was
Dude,
one it was
I don't
one
know
to
what to
talk
say.
about.
I'm glad it's
it's
over. I loved
it's
Ron.
love
I
him.
love Ron the person, and I loved
Right.
Ron as the icon. And I
Yeah.
say icon. Some people, I feel like in our fan base, we're very divided around the Ron Rivera legacy, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
rightfully so, right? Because he was not the best talent evaluator, but I think he
Nope.
did a really, really good job of transitioning us as a franchise to where we needed to be now. I think a lot of what we are now wouldn't have happened if we didn't have
Hmm.
a coach like Ron Rivera, to be
Nope.
honest with you, because even though he wasn't bad off the field, he did a lot of great things. He on the field, I mean, he was bad. He did a lot of great things for this organization
Right.
off the field,
He did.
which really set us up. And that's the one thing that I like about Ron, but on the field, oh my God.
Dude. Dude.
He
But
really had us like believing, like he
but
sold
Yeah.
us dreams, like Matilda's dad. Like it was terrible, bad used carsman salesman stuff. Like it was
Matilda's that.
crazy.
That's funny. But I want to ask you guys, because you say he did a lot of things off the field. Do you believe? All right, let's just get off just real quick.
Let's go.
This name, this brand that we're wearing, do you think it was Ron's idea or Dan's idea?
Both.
I
I
think it
think it
was
was
a
both.
both. I think it
Both.
was both,
Because,
and Jason Wright as well. I think Jason Wright probably had more impact on the branding than anybody else
I
being the
I
team
I th I
friend.
think Ron was
um,
more on the branding.
they I think they both were. No, I think
Yeah,
Yeah.
all three of them, and
All
and I
three.
think I think Dan was more backseat, like cool. Like honestly, I really do because he knew that he was going to sell the team anyway. He already
Had
knew the
yeah.
ship was written, so he already knew that, right? Ron, you got to think about military background, commander.
Exactly.
That's the reason why I'm saying that.
In
And then right,
DC.
and then DC, and then right. Okay, when you come around, when you look at Wright and what he did, obviously as the president, now. And then who we have coming in, which I know we're gonna speak on right now, Mr. Campbell Soup himself. That's what they do. They
Yeah.
brand, like literally. Your president is supposed to be around the marketing and branding and the team
Hmm.
identity. They're supposed to build that
Mhm.
from the outside in, not from the
Mhm.
inside out,
Inside
from the
out.
outside in.
Mhm.
So yeah, man. So I just want to touch on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ron had his hand in it more than anyone. I think Jason would have, if anybody, was the odd man out.
Mm.
Because, like I said, Ron being the military man, Ron
Yep.
knowing he's in DC, wanting to do things for veterans, and rightfully so.
Always did.
Hey,
Always did.
Yeah.
hey, right here, Navy brat. I'm
Yeah.
never gonna hate on, troops
Absolutely.
like the Florida
Yeah.
Gators are doing their black
Absolutely.
jerseys, auctioning off for the troops. I'm all
Yep.
for it.
All for it.
But it's
But
the way it came about, because the way that it was, like it was that, it was the Armada, it was the presidents, it was like the Red Tails. I was
Mhm.
Team Red Wolves the
Mhm.
whole way.
Even the
You could have,
hogs, red
I was too.
hogs.
or the Hogs, like you could have made FedEx Field the Den,
Mm.
or the
That
Den
was
at
it. The
FedEx
den.
Field.
The den. That was it. That was it,
Yeah.
bro.
Hmm. And
That
you
was
call the
it.
fans, the Wolf Pack. I would call up like WWE. Hey, I need the NWO like theme song right now. Like that little too sweet. Kenny's like, I hate this man already. But just like there was so, you had it right there. Like I made my own jerseys in the red. Like I had
You did?
I was in there. I will send it to y'all later. But I was in there, and you, like, it was in your hands.
Mhm.
You had everything on a silver, because you still could have used a little Native American touch, saying, "Hey, wolves were like a spirit animal of the tribe."
Yep. Yep.
Face
Like
paint. Like,
the face paint, like you could have done it. And I don't want to say, because Commanders definitely isn't the worst name. If it was the Presidents or the Armada or the
yeah, I love them
Generals,
both.
I would
Mhm.
have ripped shit apart.
Yeah.
Commanders was like fourth on my list. I'm not gonna say it
Yeah.
was like
Commander's not
bottom,
bad. It grew
Yeah.
on me.
like, but it's also the way it debuted. It was leaked 12. It was leaked the
Mhm.
night
Ah,
before.
ah,
The jerseys they used Terry, Chase, and John. Chase
ah.
ain't here. John, they used John for the black uniform, and you knew it just looked off. And I love Jonathan Allen. I got one of his jerseys, my name, the whole nine. That was not the jersey to make him look good. And I would have used him for the white, would have used
Mhm.
Terry for the burgundy, would have used Chase for the black, because
Mhm.
one of those was going to go anyways. Um, and then you just see Dan at the release press conference, just like, here's the helmet, and we're all like, ah.
Yeah.
But it's like it's gotten better.
Mhm.
Like the social media team we have from last year and this year is
Amazing.
selling us.
Oh man.
Like Courtney
Amazing.
and Emily, two of our
Mhm.
photographers. Shout out to those ladies. They are killing it in the photography game for us. Like part of my thumbnail video, like I should be
Yeah.
tagging them in all of it. But I also don't want to be that person to tag every video, so I might just have to do one big post about it. Um, but some of the best in the game. Our social media team deserves raises out the wazoo.
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, they do.
and especially this ownership taking the time to recognize former players in
Mhm.
Yep.
Sean T, in Fletcher, in Champ Bailey,
Daryl Green.
in
Man.
Daryl Green. Thank you. And then you have the monuments and the artifacts of the Redskin tribe, or not the tribe,
Mhm.
but of the tribes, and of like how the name came about. And the internet saying,
Pretzel.
well, Josh Harris has talked with Congress and talked to them about bringing back the logo. Right now, it's not going to matter. We can't rebrand this again for another like 3 years.
Mhm.
We've gone through 3 and 4 years. Trademark office won't do it for legality reasons. It's not
Yeah.
happening. Especially the name will never come back.
Nope.
Your name isn't coming back.
Nope.
Never. If they did like the logo as like a throwback uniform, cool.
That's
I
I
want
would
that.
that's what's gonna
That's what I
happen.
want. I
I would
want
That's
us to
what
love.
I
be able to
think is
wear
gonna
our
happen.
Yeah.
old uniforms
So
as
Mhm.
we could,
throwbacks. Like, let us do that again.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So first of all, you know how much money that they're losing out
So
on?
much money.
So much money. Just because if you could just use the name again or use the logo again,
Logo.
okay, you could use it on a throwback, not the name, sorry, but using the
Hmm.
logo, which is a representation of the name, everyone
Right.
will know what it is, okay? So once you use the logo, that the merchandising and the
Mm,
ability to be able to have throwback uniforms, the ability to
forms.
be able to sell that, and then
Mhm.
also just unite the fan base
Yeah.
because I think that that is what people are there's some part of our fan base that is missing that, and that's all that it takes that it will take for them. Like,
Right.
hey, we won't have the name, but at least we can have the representation, and
Patient.
don't wipe it from history.
It
You
could be
can't
as
just
simple
wipe
as
that history out.
throw the feather on the W, like that leak
That
shirt
too.
we saw.
Oh
That
yeah.
Just throw
too.
that feather on the
Yeah.
W.
I've been
Problem
saying
solved.
if you want to do a throwback uni, go back to 2005 where it was the arrow on the
Yep.
sleeve.
Arrow on the
Yep. The
sleeve.
Because
75th
yeah.
anniversary jerseys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
One of my
That's
all-time favorites.
because imagine Kenny's hat with that arrow going back behind the
going
commander
through it,
John,
right
or
you're
through.
right
Yeah.
on there. That'd be
yeah.
so
Come on.
fire. That'd be so fire.
Come on. Now I need to make these into mock-ups. I'm thinking of ideas now. I gotta write these down. But like I was saying this like 2 years ago. The name will never come back just for legality purposes. The
Right.
league won't sell it. The sponsors won't touch it, and for good reason. Although people keep having polls and surveys saying, no. The tribes in and around the DMV and around the 757, they appreciate it. Yes, but because it's already got that tainted feeling because of Dan,
Mhm,
they're
mhm,
not going to bring it back.
mhm.
I know.
Josh is doing all they can right now just to say we appreciate the history and the players and what it became before us. But
Right.
the moment we start writing red S on a piece of paper, things are going to hit the fan real quick.
I agree with that. I definitely feel like for legality reasons, the name's not going to come back. But I would
Can't.
love to see the image and likeness of old
Yeah.
come back. Like
Yeah.
sell Daryl Green shirts that have the Redskins helmet on there instead of blank burgundy helmets. Like just
Hmm.
little touches like that, I think would be much appreciated, like Kenny said, and really unite the fan base because going out there, like I say, like, I'm the name's growing on me. I love this team,
Right.
whether like this team can be called the Washington shit stains. If we're winning, I'm gonna be like, yeah, shit stains, let's go. Like I'm gonna be with it because I love this team. This is my team. Like
Hey.
I Rep. I think you're thinking about the team out in Cleveland because that's what you're talking about right now. What you're talking about right now. You think about Cleveland for the wrong reasons.
But I love this team, but I go
Right.
out there and like a game, I'll be like, yeah, go Commanders. And then there's so many, especially the older fans will be like, you mean
Reds.
Redskins? And I'm like,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
trust me. I wish it was called Redskins too. I wanted to be called Redskins. That's the
Hmm.
team I grew up with, but it's not. Like
It's a
It,
reality.
I just have to take what it
it's
is. Like
it's gotta move
Commanders are
on.
killing it right now.
It's gotta move on. Um, yeah, going back and kind of wrapping up this Ron era is the 4 years he had a draft here. We have 11 guys left out of the 4 draft seasons.
Wow.
Nobody from the 2020 draft class is still here.
Mm,
Cosme, St. Juste, Diami, John Bates, Derek Forrest are still here. That's half of the 2021 draft class.
wow.
Mathis, B. Rob, Percy Butler, Cole Turner, and I think Chris Paul, I could be wrong, are here from the 2022 draft class. That's 2/3. Quan, Chris Rodriguez, Andre Jones Jr. That's a third of the 2023 draft class still here. The last first round pick we have left on the team that we drafted is Deron Payne in
Wow.
2018.
Wow.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Which is that's
Wow.
crazy.
The indictment. Now, I said this on Instagram. I said this on Twitter. I think I might have said this on TikTok. The indictment that has on Ron Rivera. Because I'll go back. I'll go back through. Okay, 2019. Sweat was obviously the right pick to get back into the first round,
Sure.
and
Hmm.
Haskins was just rushed. God rest his soul. Just a life taken too young, but he was rushed on that field. He had no business going on as early as he did, and I wish Pittsburgh would have been the next home for him. I really wish it was, but
Yep.
God rest his soul. Chase Young at the time was absolutely the right pick.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
What?
he was hyped as the generational edge rusher, better
Sure.
than the Bosa brothers. I remember seeing like the Predator like
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
mock-ups of like him with like
Big
the
time.
half Predator like dreads and face mask and like a Washington jersey. I was hyped for that. but no one from that draft class is still here. You just released Jamin Davis earlier in the season. He's now, I think, on the Packers.
He is practice squad.
Yep. You traded Jahan to Philly for a third and 2/7, and then you just released Emmanuel Forbes, who got picked up by the Rams. And I love seeing the comments from Rams fans saying, "Can we get this man a sandwich? Can we feed him? Who failed this man at strength and conditioning? Because I think he got skinnier."
I
He
think so
probably did
too.
get sick. Yeah, he
Um,
did look skinnier.
yeah, Rev, you know what I want to say, but
Go ahead. No,
Now
I
go
was
ahead, go
gonna say,
ahead.
go ahead, Kenny.
If Chris was
listen,
here, he'd be chewing me out.
listen, man. If who was here?
If Chris was here, he'd be saying, "Don't you dare say that name around us. I hate Emmanuel Forbes. Like, man, he would have gone into violence mode."
Bro, let me tell you, this is the thing, right? And I Forbes, he's not serious, bro. Like he just isn't. He isn't serious about his routine, okay? He isn't serious about preparing for the game of football.
Mhm.
And I say that because I know personally that Forbes cannot stay out of the damn nightclub. He cannot stay out of the DC streets. Okay. And that's the reason why when I say when he goes to LA, I don't know how the hell he's going to survive over there because Forbes is not disciplined. That's the point I'm trying to make. He's not a disciplined player, just like
Mhm.
Chase Young is not a disciplined player. You could tell with not only what they're doing off the field, but how are they playing on the field. Chase
Mhm.
Young likes to run circles around the damn tackle. He literally loves he likes to run around the tackle and break containment all the
Yep.
time.
Yep.
Forbes can't keep his freaking his he can't keep his head out his ass. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, the one interception he had this year was luck. It got thrown to him, and he just happened to
It was
be there to
also
catch it.
thrown. It was also
It
thrown
was a
by Andy
duck.
Dalton, who is
It was a
like exception
it was a
machine.
duck. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. Nothing against Forbes, but when you come in with certain expectations, we
Mhm.
want you to
First round.
perform. You
Yep.
have to perform. You're still getting that first round paycheck every single week. That thing is still cashing, all right? So you need to perform. You need to be active. You in like focused, not in nightclubs every weekend. Like even during the game, I'm sorry, literally before our game, he was out. Like it doesn't that's what I'm trying to say about Forbes is that it's you deserve all of the scrutiny that you receive when you aren't disciplined and focused on your craft.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
is the issue that I have with Forbes. It's not as if you're doing everything right on the field and off the field, and then on top, and then you just can't, you're missing a step or et cetera, et cetera. That's the reason why I can't ring on Juice the way I do, the way I could ring on Forbes because look at John. John's like, look, I'm about to talk shit.
Man, just go ahead before I get started on Saint
Listen,
Groupie.
Juice, look, man. I'm not gonna talk about Forbes anymore. All right, but when it comes to Juice, look, I'm gonna do a quick transition. I like Juice, man. Like
I'm about
honestly,
to
I
say,
think
leave Juice alone. Like the
leave Juice
leave
alone.
Britney alone. Leave
Because
Juice alone.
yes, Juice can't get his head around in time, and he's horrible at tracking the ball. He cannot track the
Yeah.
ball for shit. I don't know what is up with him and his ball tracking skills, but it's terrible. But when it comes to actually coverage, because the thing is, Juice will play well 95% of the game. It's just that 10 to 5% of the game,
Yeah.
when you
Wander.
you won't see him. Like what I'm saying is he won't even show up. You won't even see him for the first 3 quarters until the fourth quarter when he can't track the ball worth a damn. That's when you see his name, and look, or he's holding or something, or he's
Hmm.
grabbing, he's
Yep.
grabby or something along those lines. The
Hmm.
point I'm trying to make is that Juice, Juice isn't as bad as we may make it seem. He just folds in the worst the worst time. So that's it, man. I'll leave you
So,
with that.
Yeah.
Saint Juice folds like wet laundry. All right. Let me tell you something about Saint Juice.
That's
All right. Let me tell you something about Canadian bacon Saint Juice.
Canadian
All right.
bacon.
This man, I agree for 3/4 of the game, you won't hear his name, and it's a good thing. You don't want to hear corners' names constantly getting involved unless they're getting pass deflections or interceptions or making great tackles. All right, I'll give him credit where credit is due. He's one of the better pass deflecting QBs in the league for his size.
Mhm.
It's where it also gets him in trouble. I have said this week after week after week into this mic, onto this camera, onto Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Y'all can go follow us. Shameless plug. I need to start sports betting. I need to make my own bet. Is 1.5 DPIs per game on Benjamin St. Juste. Because every single time I think we're gonna have a clean game, I speak too soon. Because I will see on my screen, oh, routine tackle, nice play, flag, and the camera just pans to the defense. And I said, don't tell me it is who I think it is. And all you hear is referees hit the microphone, pass interference, defense number 25, 15 yards from the end of the spot, automatic first down, and that generally means spot ball plays at the 1 yard line, automatic first down, get him into the end zone. Almost just on reassurance. And if it ain't that, he's getting burnt, beat, or moss on the touchdown, a la Mike Williams.
Mhm.
There was no reason you let that man out the laundromat. He was washed coming into Pittsburgh. And he said, nah, let me beat, burn, and moss this 6'2" corner. We call him Saint Groupie for a reason. If it's not a DPI, it's grabbing dudes. I'm gonna stop talking bad about this man.
Well, I'll take that as an opportunity to say that Marshawn Lattimore
Or hey,
will likely
cool
playing
3.
going into the Saints, which is beautiful. I love that his debut game is against his old team. I think that's going to be even better for us as
Written.
fans. I also feel as though since Marshawn has joined the team, even though Benjamin St. Juste has still had some of those DPI issues, I do feel like he's gotten better in coverage and
Yeah.
slightly better in tracking. Ever so slightly. Like I was watching some all 22 tape and I see that he's like in stride doing those things. He's gotten a lot better. Our defense, has even improved. We're a top 5 pass defense right now. I think like a week or two, like going into the Tennessee game, we were like 29
Yeah,
or
we were
like
bad.
30 in rush. And now we're like 27 in rush defense. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like the defense has been on the upswing. And I definitely
Right.
think that Lattimore is going to help us see a lot less of what we see from St. Juste because now we're not going to be asking Juste to play above the belt all the time. Like Juste will
Mm-hmm.
be able to play
Yep.
on Juice's level and play Juice's game a little bit more,
Yep.
whether that's being in the slot, whether that's moving
Yep.
around. I think we're going to end up using Benjamin St. Juste very much like how we're using Noah I right now. How we move Noah. Yeah, we move Noah.
Iggy.
Noah plays a little bit of nickel sometimes. Sometimes
Mhm.
in the dime packages, you'll definitely see him at nickel. Sometimes you'll see him play out in the corner. Sometimes you see Noah all over the place. And I think that's what they're going to end up doing
Yep.
with St. Juste
Yeah.
because they're similar frame guys.
Right. And it'll move Mikey back to his natural slot position as a slot
I think
corner.
they're going to keep Mikey on the
I don't think
outside, to be
so.
honest. I
I
think they're
think
going to
he's
keep
gonna
Mikey
be on
on
the
the
outside.
outside.
I think I think he's done well, but I think when he was coming into the league, everyone was saying, "Oh, he's gonna be
He's a
that
slot.
perfect slot corner,
Mhm.
being like like right on that threshold, 5'10", 5'11". When you start getting those really good, slot 2 outside, and considering you lose Forbes, you didn't bring up Chiganuzium, which you really should have, and not let him go to
I know.
Cleveland.
I
Man,
know.
you
I
pay
didn't
him
like
three.
that either.
You pay him $3 million as a UDFA, just non-season. All right. Um, but then like Michael Davis has been playing awful. Noah Iganagabi has been playing all right. I think better than
Solid, actually.
I think better than advertised coming into the season.
Definitely.
But unless if they keep Mikey on the outside, then who goes to the slots? Juiced?
Juice.
Juice.
Juice?
Juice.
I can see
Remember
What
that.
his
they'll end
rookie
up doing.
year? He played in the slot, and
That's
I
right.
think
he played well in the slot. And that's the thing. Like Juice, as long as he isn't on the number one receiver, he's gonna
could
be
be all
fine.
Yeah.
right.
That's that has been his biggest issue. You put Marshawn Lattimore on an island, you put him on the one, he shuts down. He could play man to man. Do you know what that does for your defense?
Right.
You can literally have him in man to man, covered on a one on one. He's gonna shut down that side of the field. That's it. Then you have Mikey on the opposite. You have Mikey on the opposite side on the second best receiver. If their second best receiver is their slot receiver, then you put Mikey on the slot. And I think in run packages, you could put Mikey in the box. You could put him
Mhm.
in the slot in earlier down
Yeah.
situations. And then
Even
on
put Juice
third
there.
down, you could put him on the outside.
Yeah.
Say it again,
I said you can
Rev.
even put Juice there. I feel like what we're gonna see
I
is
think Mikey's a
what.
better run defender than Juice, but I
Yeah,
digress.
but I think Juice's length is gonna help him be effective in the run and in the box. Because if you think back to when Juice was playing in the box, that was something that he did. He got a lot of tackles. Like Juice knows how to tackle. That's one thing about Juice is he's a tackling machine. As much as he gets beat, he tackles pretty decently. Now, I mean, he has 62 tackles on the season right now from
Right.
the DB position. Like he's doing he's doing decent work. I think what the
I hope he
defense,
could
I don't want to
tackle.
lose. I don't want to lose my point though. What I think our
But go ahead,
defense is
sorry.
going to look like with Lattimore is going to
Mm-hmm.
be very reminiscent of like a Rex Ryan defense. Like they used to always say Rex
Mm.
Ryan's defense were like amoeba, where it's always moving, you couldn't quite tell. And
That's
if you
true.
look at the way they're playing now, they keep moving guys from one place to another. Like in that Tennessee game, there was like a series of plays where they were rushing Luvu. And then the a following play, they go and it looks like Luvu's gonna rush, and then he drops back into coverage. I think having Lattimore, to your point, Kenny, is going to give them the ability to interchange guys like Mikey and Juice and Noah I all around the field where you won't really know who's covering what at that point. Mikey
Yeah.
could be start out on the outside and then move inside, and Juice comes outside and vice versa. So I think this is
Yeah.
going to be very Rex Ryan-y, amoeba type defense is what we're going to start seeing with Lattimore on the field.
Can't wait to see it. That's all I'm
Man,
saying. I hope that
I,
comes to fruition.
I hope so. Because this secondary, like I think we go corner heavy in this next draft and this next offseason if we didn't need it already. But we'll get into mock drafts later on in the bye week. But we touched on it earlier in the episode, and I want to get to this now before we forget about it. We do have a new team president. Former Campbell's Soup CEO Mark Clouse, I think I said the last name right, is going to retire from the packaged food industry and join us next year as our new team president. How do we feel about it?
Um, if he had anything to do with those chunky soup commercials, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
A
I'm
lot of people
all
don't know
for it.
Campbell's Soup owns a lot of brands. They're actually a
Absolutely.
parent company to a lot
yeah,
of brands, man. And if you look at, what he's gonna bring, obviously, listen, I don't know. I can't. I'm not gonna lie to you and say I know the guy through and
right.
through. I don't think any of us do, as a fan base. But I, regardless, okay, it's not Jason Wright as our team as our
Yeah.
president. And for me, that's a huge upgrade. All right,
Mm-hmm.
because huge upgrade in my eyes. And anyone that Josh has hired, I've been a fan of.
Hmm.
So I trust his decisions. And it was very thorough. He had time to think about it. He had
Right.
a significant time to think about this decision. With other decisions, he had to make them
Quick.
fast, real quick. This one, it marinated like some
Mm-hmm.
Campbell soup. So um that's
I like that. I like that.
I like
Oh
I
wow.
for me, I'm just like, okay, cool. We got a guy in here who it ain't just Joe Blow off the street or just one of his friends, somebody's
Right.
friend, Dan
Hmm.
Snyder's guy, his drinking buddy, and and you know who I'm talking
Yeah.
about, Mr.
Yeah.
McLuhan. You know what I'm saying? So we're not just bringing in anyone that's just that's just related to
Mm-hmm.
they're
Cause.
actually a guy for the job. Okay,
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah.
like the fact that we're bringing someone in that's highly qualified, and I trust our ownership's decision making. So man, I'm gonna clap it up to it, man. I'm happy.
I'm gonna, as you all were speaking, I'm looking up a few things about our new CEO and just the Campbell's company in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big hire. To Kenny's point, Campbell's has a ton of brands that
Yeah.
don't pay us, so I'm not gonna go ahead and name them all. But there are some really notable brands on here, and that's impressive. And this guy was the CEO of this company.
Hmm.
CEO.
This company
Yeah.
that's been around for 150 plus years.
Yeah.
He was the CEO of, and he's now gonna be our team president. That alone
Hmm.
speaks to the level of work that he could do for us. Because
Yep.
CEO, in my opinion, is such a bigger
It
role for,
is.
especially for a company like Campbell's to come down and now be a president. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna be feeling like he's getting like the best job in his life because he's gonna have more money essentially with less
Hmm.
responsibility with in this
Yeah.
particular role. So
Yep.
I'm excited. Like I don't know much about the guy, so I'm not gonna pretend and say that. But just from what I know
Right.
about business and seeing a guy who could run a organization like Campbell's, and now we're giving him a football team, which I'm sure
Hmm.
doesn't have half as many intricacies as producing
Correct.
food and things
Right.
that people consume. I think he's gonna kill it. I just think
Yeah.
that's just the right recipe for somebody to be successful in their life.
Yeah, I think it helps because I looked at the article from the Commanders and then someone put it on Instagram called the Boardroom. Shout out to them. Is Klaus took over Campbell's in 2019, so
Yep.
he's only been a 5-year CEO. He drove up the company stock by a 32% increase by
Mm,
restructuring and honing in on the core business values. He
mm,
boasts nearly a $12 billion market cap and an annual revenue of 9.6 billion. He makes more than what Josh bought the team for.
wow.
He makes more than what the Dallas Cow just as much than what the Dallas Cowboys is worth.
Hmm.
Wow.
Cowboys is worth $11 billion, and rightfully so. Jerry Jones is a master manipulator of marketing. I'm not gonna take that away
Hmm.
from the man, although he's losing a few brain cells. Um, but it also helps um, having is he was a military veteran. I think in the Army. Oh, here it is. More than 30 years of leadership to the Commanders organization after graduating West Point, which is the United States Army Military Academy,
Hmm.
where he played on their basketball team. He joined his career in the Army, serving as a 6.5-year helicopter pilot and rising to the rank of captain by the end of his service. And then he joined Kraft Foods and became president of North America at Mondes in 2012, CCO, Chief Commanding Officer, and later that year became CEO of Pinnacle Foods, which brings the company, becomes CEO and president in 2019. And you weren't going to read some of the names. Campbell's, he oversaw a portfolio like Campbell's, Goldfish, the snack that
Hmm.
smiles back at my
Yep.
childhood, Rouse, the marinara sauce, Pepperidge Farms,
Hmm.
and he's hit me right in the good stuff. And
Yeah.
when you look at that portfolio, a lot of that stuff went through branding stuff too.
Hmm.
Right.
And that's the
That.
big thing is I've seen online
Yep.
on Twitter is this smells like if I were to call The Rock and tell
Branding.
me what are you cooking, it smells like branding.
Branding. Yes.
And I think
Definitely.
it's a good thing. I don't think it's going to be a name change, but it could be a
Nope.
logo redone. It could be, um, like truly turning around the brand of the Commanders, not just, hey, we need to
Jersey
slap
redos.
jersey redos. Man, I've said this. Those whites, our whites, might be the worst white jerseys in the league. I've said it before, and I'm a hold still by it. I think we have one of the worst, if not the worst, white jerseys in the league. Because where in our portfolio do we have black? The,
Hmm.
the, the color black in terms of the brand, not like that came out wrong. That's all me. That came out wrong. Came out wrong.
You're okay.
Damn it. Damn it.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like we
But
You know
need
what you
more
meant.
burgundy and
yeah, yeah,
gold
yeah,
on that
burgundy and
jersey
gold.
than
And
black.
and
Like where I'm
yeah.
looking at the black stripe right here
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
on Jayden's arm. If that was
Yeah.
gold, that would be
It'd be
phenomenal.
easier. And then the outline on the 5 is black.
Yep.
Make that gold, you good.
Yep.
Um, I need to work on that wording because I'm gonna get in trouble in the comments later. But that's okay.
Nah, don't
Um,
roast him, y'all. Y'all know what he meant. He was talking about the brand
the
color
brand.
identity, okay? The color kit, the brand kit,
Yeah, the
the
brand
design
guideline.
kit. Come
Um,
on, y'all.
but yeah, but this smells, and I know Kenny was pointing me out, this is coming off as a branding hire, which is not a bad thing. I'm ready for it. But this won't be until a next year thing. This isn't him coming in right now as we're making our peak. This will be for the 25 season.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think that's not to cut you off,
oh
but I
good.
think that was one of the reasons why we waited so long. to bring him in because it's not like we needed him during the season or this year.
No.
So it was the prep, for next season. Let him go into this off season, work on it, do what he needs to do leading into the off season. So by the time, the summertime or fall comes, we can start seeing his work,
Yeah.
whatever he has planned. And I'm excited. I really am excited to see what he's gonna bring to the table. Um, Josh just hires good people, man. Like everyone in the organization, I have no problem with all of our hires from top to bottom. Like, there's no one that I'm calling for to say they need to be fired. Like under Dan Snyder's era,
Right.
like every freaking year we had somebody that he
Calling
hired
for
or
somebody's head.
someone hired that we're calling for their job.
Hmm.
So there's no one, shit, not even on our coaching staff that we could say, man, they need to be fired or they need to
No.
be no, nobody, man.
No.
So with that being said, bro, like I just trust what we're doing, and
Yep.
I'm excited to see what work he's gonna put in.
Yeah, nah, it definitely. Josh Harris is doing great things. Good guy.
Good
You could
guy.
tell he cares about this team.
Yep.
I don't know him personally, but I have fun fact. I used to do because I used to work at the Apple store, and his mom used to come in for the sessions that we would host there. And I remember way back when she told me that he was trying to buy the team. This was before it actually got in motion. She was like, "You like the Commanders?" She was like, "You like the Redskins?" She was like, I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I like the." She was like, "Yeah, my son, he's actually working on buying the team, but don't tell anybody." And I was just like, "Who is this lady?" And looking back when I saw the
Looking
press
back, that's
conference and
crazy.
I was like, "That's
Hmm.
Sylvia. Sylvia always comes to our session." So I know his
How many years ago
mom.
was that, Red?
This was probably 2019 till about like she stopped coming maybe in like 2021 is
Because
when she
COVID.
stopped coming to our sessions. Yeah, like
Yeah.
2021. I stopped actually no, even post COVID, it was like maybe she still came a little bit, but we started seeing less and less of her. Apple Watch was her jam. She used to always come for
Yeah.
the Apple Watch sessions. That was her thing. But I
Amen.
say that to say that Sylvia is a very nice woman. Like she's
Mhm.
very wholesome. Once you get around her, she's very embracing. Like she talks very nice. She's like is very familiar with you, like when she gets to know you. So I'm not surprised to see Josh acting like that. I've met the guy, very busy guy, when he was in the store at the one time I met him, but like nice guy. I
Yeah.
could tell he's come from a good family just off the
Oh yeah.
strength
Mhm.
of knowing his mom.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Um. Yeah. That stacks up because he's always coming from like a fan perspective. Like I want to see the team succeed, not only as like a business, but because I've been a fan so long and seeing it just on the downtick every single year. RG3 every single
Mhm.
year.
Mhm.
Um. But Kenny, you were saying we haven't been calling for anybody's jobs. Um. We
Job you
we did.
calling for, John?
Not in this coaching style, but we were calling for someone at the end of last season, and we're surprised got to college. And since then,
Oh,
he done been got. Let's touch on this real
E
quick.
boo boo.
E boo
Air,
boo. That's what we call him on our pod. E
man,
boo
E boo
boo.
boo.
Eric Milk Dud Bieniemy
Oh,
done got released from the UCLA Bruins. They
mm.
finished the year with the 117th ranked offense in college football. Do you know
Oh.
there's only like 132 teams in college football?
Yikes.
Ah.
Yikes.
And oh, dude, the quote by his agent kills me.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so this is the statement from his agent Jason Fletcher, who I don't know the guy. This is just what my thoughts on what he said statement wise, not him as a person, as an agent. I'm sure he does a hell of a job. So I just want to put that out there. He said, and I quote, Eric and UCLA mutually parted ways today as previously planned. So this was, I think, yesterday. So Thursday. This will come out on Saturday, guys. So this has been like a day. He's still getting paid by us, the Commanders. After interviewing for head coaching jobs last year, he wanted to stay active and busy. So he decided to go help Deshaun Foster, who's like his little brother at UCLA, as opposed to sitting around out a year. The plan was always to return to the NFL in 2025, and he's looking forward to opportunities ahead. So I'm just gonna take the mic just ever so slightly to my mouth. Eric Bieniemy ain't getting no head coaching opportunities. I can tell
No.
you that for a fact.
That.
All right. If he couldn't get the Bears job, if he couldn't get the Titans job, if he couldn't get the Jaguars job, if he couldn't get the Seattle job,
Yep.
if he couldn't go be an offensive assistant back to Andy Reid,
Back to Andy Reid. Andy Reid don't want him.
and he don't want him anymore, what makes you think you're gonna get a head coaching opportunity in the NFL? Bill Belichick doesn't have a job right now in the NFL. Mike Vrabel
Exactly.
doesn't have a job in the NFL right now. All right. Doug Peterson is going to be on his way out. Brian Dabble, because of the draft pick, he might keep Brian Dabble. Mike McCarthy is on his way out the NFL. All right. No one. He might come back as like an OC,
I don't even think he would get done.
and
I
by
think
that
you
I
get
mean
like offensive, like pass game
game
coordinator.
coordinator
Coordinator.
or like
Yeah, they would make him
offensive
pass game
or
coordinator.
offensive coordinator,
Quality control,
assistant,
or
quality
like quality
control.
control coach or something
Yeah,
like
somebody. But
Yeah.
honestly, I don't even know if he'll get that because that's a 25-year-old's job. That's a 30-year-old man's job. I said 25. That's a 30 to 35-year-old man's
Yeah.
job. That's not. That is not EB. Someone of his pedigree. Someone with. Do you remember the press conference? Him showing off his Super Bowl rings. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just. It's man. I'm just the
okay. Eric
the
Bieniemy
the
wants to win
longest.
championships.
You were talking about how Sam Howell was ruined by EB, and I really do feel like he did not help his case when at all. Um and I wouldn't say ruined, but I just felt like he didn't help his case.
Not at
I
all.
do I do think he ruined Jahan Dotson though. I think he shot his
Mhm.
confidence like down,
Yeah.
like completely. Number one. Number two, EB has the most longest developing pass plays that I've
Man.
ever seen from an offensive coordinator. My God. When EB was putting Sam Howell in the worst position possible. That's the reason why we had the most sacks in the league when he was in a look and made it seem like it was Sam's fault and our offensive line's fault. There was no quick game. The quick
Nope.
game did not exist. It
No.
did not. Terry was running. Do you remember how they were running in practice? All the sprints, and they used to always talk about how, like, man, I'm better conditioned than I've ever been in my entire career. How Terry used to talk about, and they used to say it as if like, I remember when it was being stated, it was like, damn, our team is like, EB's whipping them these boys in shape,
Coaching hard.
coaching hard, coaching them hard.
Yeah.
No, dude, that's the reason why I don't believe he's gonna get an OC job because of the
Mhm.
way he coaches. Like the college ranks, that can work. You can't do this with with
Can
with
it though?
with
I think in
NFL
today's
players.
I think in today's generation, it's you can't. Gone are the days where you come to whether college or NFL and you're running crazy two-a-days outside in the sun, no water. Yeah,
Thank
college,
you.
they still do that a little bit. In college, they definitely still do some really
Yeah, a
hard
little
workouts.
bit.
But in the NFL, no
Nah.
way.
Hell no.
No way. Especially since they're getting paid coming out of college now as well. Like
Come
when
on
you're not
now.
doing
What?
that, people just
NIL deals.
I
Yeah.
think the collective consciousness of the world just doesn't even
Yeah.
allow for that type of
No.
treatment of other human beings anymore. So that's why you see the
Right.
coaches that are successful are the ones who are more player based, who are a little bit more forward focused on like
Mm-hmm.
the person attached to the
Yeah.
team as opposed to just the team, you're a player, you're just a cog in
Yeah.
this machine. Like, no, like that.
A la
Gone are
Dan
I
those
like
Quinn.
days.
DQ.
Yeah,
Yeah. There you
exactly. A la
go.
Dan Quinn. But we're talking about Eric Bieniemy, and you mentioned that their pass offense was what 107 or 102,
117.
117 out of
117. 132.
132. I was just curious on that. I was like, I bet you that they are probably in the top half of pass attempts. And surely enough, UCLA was 43,
Yeah.
42 in all of college football in pass attempts, which is crazy to think about
Man.
that.
And I've been watching the college ball all this year because I'm putting together big boards and getting ready to do some of this draft stuff. No one from UCLA has come across my screen. I I cannot tell you what the record is of the Bruins, who they've played, who they've beat or lost. I can tell you Bama, I can tell you Boise State, Florida State, your Iowas, ODUs because I'm here. Like I can
Yeah.
tell you
I can even
those.
tell you more about Rice.
Rice, I couldn't tell you a lick about UCLA.
Mhm.
Yeah, nothing. No one paid
Nothing.
attention,
No.
honestly. It was It's sad, to be quite honest.
Mhm.
The fact that that he got fired. It truly is. It's sad because, and I do want to touch on. A lot of people were saying it was racism that he wasn't getting that he wasn't getting head coaching jobs.
Mhm.
And even a lot of people prior to him taking our job, like and our fan base was saying the same thing,
Hmm.
like, oh, EB deserved the opportunity. And we were
Mhm.
so happy.
Mhm.
We're excited.
We
I
all
couldn't
thought so.
Yeah,
I was excited to have EB
we all
here
thought it.
after
We
the
were
season.
like, damn, like we got a coveted one.
yeah.
Like finally, like
But
we
about
got
to turn this place around.
yeah, we're gonna turn this place
Mhm.
around. He's gonna be our guy. He's gonna be our next head coach. Remember
Yep.
that? He
Yep.
was gonna when Ron left, EB was gonna take over. That's what we thought.
Yep.
We thought like, man, we're gonna have our guy for the future. Oh my gosh. Did did the
Nah.
tables turn?
Nope.
We were
I
wrong.
I think by week 9, we were all like, "There's no way. Ain't no way he sticks around."
Man, I
And the
think
mo
by week
man,
5, I was missing Scott Turner.
man, if that ain't tell you,
God damn.
man. I think by the bye week, because I think I remember talking
Yeah,
with
bye
like,
week.
yeah, I think it was me and Tone and Josh and a bunch of others on a live stream. I'll put the link up above Kenny's head. Um, is like we were talking about like is Terry a receiver one and all that, but we were saying where is the Eric Bieniemy vault? And I get it, Mahomes is your quarterback. That was Andy Reid's team. You were the offensive coordinator, drawing up the plays, talking to Patrick, talking to Travis,
Mm-hmm.
talking to Clyde Edwards-Helaire when he was still playing, talking
Right.
to Juju, and talking to who was the Tyreek.
Mhm.
And it took you till week 18 to essentially tush push Terry to 1,000 yards
Mm.
for you to legitimately waste
Mhm.
Terry's 5th year,
Yeah.
B Rob's return to the field,
Mm.
to waste the Cosme's. I think Cosme still made the Pro Bowl last year because he had given up like 1 sack the whole season. I remember,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that. But you wasted, and Ron didn't know favors. You fired Jack way too late. You should have fired him the year
Mm.
before.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was his
Mhm.
bestie.
Facts.
Yeah, there was no reason you couldn't have just said, "Hey, you're getting paid anyways. Just leave with Jack." Like
Yeah.
the three of them should have left together, and we probably still would have gone 3-14. Hell, we might have won 2 more games.
True. I would have made Tavita Pritchard the interim OC and just took it from there.
Yeah,
Ah, man.
I would have made whoever. I would have made Ryan Kerrigan our interim DC, Coach
Yeah.
Kerrigan our interim DC, because he has made guys like Dante Fowler so much
Yes.
better.
Yep. Definitely has.
I would have brought in London Fletcher. I would have called in Warren Sapp, even though he went to Colorado and was killing it with them. Make guys matter, and Bieniemy did not
Hell
make
no.
guys matter.
He
Mhm.
didn't.
He did the
He
opposite, if
regressed
anything.
everyone on offense.
Yep.
Everyone took a step back on offense, which
Hmm.
is unheard of. Like you said, it it just makes you think who was really calling the plays
It's
and
Andy.
drawing up the script. It was Andy the
It's Andy.
entire time. That's the reason why Andy was so pressed to push him out the door. He
Yeah.
knew damn well that like that's what he was trying as hard as he could. He was man, the way he
He
was
was selling
speaking
it.
on EB, the way he was, man, I'm telling you. He
He was
sound like a
selling it.
car salesman
Yeah,
trying to sell
definitely
their last
did.
car on the lot.
Definitely did.
That got a bad engine, got a bad
Yeah.
transmission.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But he's doing anything to get
Dude.
that car off the lot. That's
Yeah.
exactly how Andy was treating EB.
And you were saying racist because I remember them saying, there's not enough black head coaches in the league, which there aren't.
Mhm.
There aren't enough black head coaches, black owners, executives.
Yes,
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to
there
deny
are.
that, but almost every team EB had interviewed, something
Said
went
no.
wrong.
Something went
Yep.
wrong.
Yep.
He
What
could
was
not
it?
interview well.
What was it? What was it? It had to been whatever he was bringing to the table. I don't know if it was because I also don't like we saw how he drew up plays. Obviously, we saw,
Yeah,
right? When he was the one drawing to the plays, we knew that shit ain't work. But prior to that, there had to been something about either his coaching style, what he said in the interviews. Like, I want to know, what were these teams thinking that, why didn't they hire him? What was
I
their
think it's
reason?
I think after they met the person, that level of intensity, especially if you're an owner, you know what you want. You know what a
Hmm.
good coach looks like. And I think the way EB presented himself and maybe when they saw the plans and everything, they're about like, yeah,
Yeah.
who's he gonna get on his staff? Who's gonna because like Eric Bieniemy is
Right,
respected,
right.
yeah, but as after what I am seeing, I'm like, how respected is he really? Like, was he
I I
just, you know?
I think the man EB. I remember. I think it might have been Tone saying this. Is just a melanated Ron Rivera, or a melanated melanated Scott Turner. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Is and actually no melanated Ron still works too. As
Yeah.
the man, well respected, earned his success.
Mm-hmm.
When opportunities arose, he is attempted to make the most out of them. Ron beating cancer, um, like as the men, got nothing but love, respect, admiration for. As coaches, done fell off a cliff.
Not it.
Mm-mm.
Not it.
Maybe the worst head coach and OC duo in history.
Jeff Saturday was a coach for a little bit, but even then
Yeah,
he won a couple games.
That Colts
Talk
team was
about the
just bad.
duo.
I
Tell
will
me.
I will raise you Doug Peterson and whoever the Jaguars OC currently is right now. I'll raise you Antonio Pierce and Luke Getsy from this season. I'll raise
Ooh.
you
Antonio
Eberflus and
Pierce?
Waldron. Eberflus and Waldron get it. Eberflus and
Earfus and
Waldron.
Waldron.
Because how did they
Oh
mess
yeah,
that
they're
up?
I'll
horrible.
raise you
How did
that.
they mess that up with that
Yeah,
Um,
roster?
they're
Come
they're
on.
horrible. You're right. Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
who's a really bad team? I'll raise you Belichick and the OC last year for the Patriots.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They were
And
How
when
can
when
you
they
how can you throw Belichick as a worst head coach?
OC? You talking about head coach
you
OC
I said
combos?
the
duo
combo. Yeah,
combo.
You talking
combo.
about the
The
collective of
yeah, yeah.
Bel
The last year Belichick was in the league as a head coach, whoever's OC was
terrible.
I get you. Yeah,
not
yeah.
that. Because
We're not
as
talking
defense,
all
because the
time.
defense was fine. Yeah, oh yeah, not definitely not of all
Yeah.
time.
Definitely not talking all
No.
time.
No,
Yeah.
no, definitely. At all time, Bill might go coach the Tar Heels right now.
Yeah.
That's how weird, and if the
That's
football world's
crazy.
getting.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even want to get started
It's
on Bill Belichick and
man,
his young girlfriend. He has like a 20-something-year-old girlfriend.
man. Mark Davis is like a 25-year-old, and that
It's
man ugly.
crazy. Yeah.
That man just nasty.
The
Um,
money.
hey, the money. I don't know what to tell you. Um,
Money will I'm telling you.
money will buy you happiness.
Hmm.
I just
Just depends
witnessed
on.
it. I was in Bahamas. We were on a
Ooh,
excursion with someone, and dude was like, he was like 55, and I just thought he was tricking. But now he was like, "This is my fiance." Girl was like 19 years old. He was like in his
Yikes.
mid 50s. I was like, "What the hell?" My wife was like, "What's going on here? They're on an excursion with us? Like that
right,
they don't even look like they relate." She was doing a TikTok dance, and he was like, "I don't know it." I was like, "Oh
man.
my god."
If I man, just hearing that makes me think of like what was Shane McMahon's theme song? Here comes the money, 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 money. That's what I hear right there.
No bullshit.
Her doing the Shane dance and him in just the background, like, you go,
Like,
honey.
yeah,
You
you get
go.
him.
You do it. Right in
I
the will
recorded
right
for
now.
you. Whole
Yeah.
time he's recording the selfie
You
camera.
record yourself?
It's like, you got it, honey. You see
That's
the
Bill
video.
right there. That's Bill and his girlfriend, man. I'm
Man,
telling you.
Oh man.
man. I couldn't do it.
Oh
Ain't
man.
no way. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Dude.
Hmm.
Just ain't no way. But I want to go back to us talking about because predictions and going to the season. Because shout out to the guys down under to Outback QB podcast. I still gotta get them on, but like it's a weird continental thing. Because they had put out their gutsy calls for the season. Was Jayden Daniels over 3,500 passing yards, Terry over 1,200 receiving yards, and us having 9 wins or more. They were on to something in August.
Hmm.
Terry's gonna break 1,000 by next game, hopefully.
Please, please, football
Hopefully.
gods, please.
If he can just average 80, if he can average 80 yards a game for the last 4 games, you're at 20, you're at 320, you're at just about 1,200. If we win two out of the next four, we get to 10 wins. What's Jayden's stats right now? I think he's only got like 2,200 passing yards. JD5 is at 2,819 passing yards. So you know what? In 4 games to get to 35, he needs. Oh, he'll get that in like 2 games. He needs 600 and so passing yards. He'll get that in the next 2 games.
Mhm.
So they were on to something in August. I might need
Yeah,
to send them money for that.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I was optimistic going into this season. I definitely felt as though we were going to be better than last year, just because,
Oh yeah.
in my opinion, there was no question about who the best quarterback in this draft was. I know that the de facto best was Caleb, right?
Caleb.
Everybody was like, Caleb is the number one, and I knew that was set in stone, but
Yeah.
I still didn't buy that he was the best quarterback in this draft
Yeah.
class. I always thought Jayden was that guy
Yeah.
just from watching the LSU tape, even ASU. I remember when I first saw him at ASU, I was like, yo, this kid is electric. But
Special.
back then he was too skinny, all that stuff, and he
Yeah.
was like, needed to come up. But Jayden is just playing years above years beyond his years.
Oh yeah.
Like he's just like an amazing even kill guy. We talked a little bit earlier about Emmanuel for Forbes and the lack of discipline it takes to be successful at this. And I think Jayden is
Mm-hmm.
the exact opposite of that. That's that delta between those two guys is enormous
Yeah.
because of how locked in Jayden is. Like Jayden, even just watching like the tape, you see week to week how much faster he's getting with his progression, how much better
Yeah.
he's getting with his decision making. Even in the
His.
times where he was playing poorly, like you
Mm-hmm.
could still see him striving through the adversities that were in front of
Yeah.
him. And I think that those intangible factors are honestly what make Jayden Daniels so amazing.
Yeah. I mean, just his connection with the receivers gets better week after week. His connection with Terry gets better week after week after week. Um, but I want that kind of brings me to kind of starting to close things out so we don't get too late. Is the my top three offensive rookie of the year candidates. One, it's Jayden Daniels. He has won that thing since week 2, and
Mm-hmm.
he was only lost it because of or was losing it. Us losing the 3 game losing streak,
Yep.
and B, he he's only won 8 out of 13 rookie of the weeks, which is absurd. He's over half. Second is Bo Nix.
Crazy.
Bo
Mhm.
Nix is playing great football.
Amazing.
Great football.
Denver was like 0-3 to start the season.
Yep.
They're 8-5 as well.
Yeah. I think Bo
I
Nix
Fab
is
agree.
carrying that team.
he is.
He definitely
Him,
is. They don't have a lot of talent on offense.
no, him and Marvin Mims are making a really good connection.
Mm-hmm.
And we touched on him earlier. Brock Bowers is
Mm-hmm.
my number 3.
Big time.
Fourth in the league in receiving yards as a rookie tight end. You're gonna break records doing that.
Oh, big
That's
time.
crazy.
With
No
Aiden
question.
O'Connell and Gardner Minshew as your QBs.
That's what I'm like. What?
What?
Huh?
Excuse me?
Banking it. Like, I,
What?
dude, Brock Bowers is balling. He's on my fantasy. So, I've been paying, obviously I pay attention every single week. I'm watching. I'm like, man, this dude is putting up numbers. He's been saving me
Mm-hmm.
some weeks because he's so consistent. And
Mhm.
as you said, it's not like he don't have an all pro or a Pro Bowl quarterback throwing on the ball. He's just making it happen one way or another. He's making it happen.
Yeah.
Listen, when it comes to he's not going to win it, of course, only because he's not
No.
a quarterback. There's two
Yeah.
quarterbacks he's going up against. So I
Mhm.
still believe, obviously, JD, it's not even a question. I mean, you could tell 8 out of 13. He missed a week. He's, left games early. We sat him down, a couple
Yep.
games. He didn't even play the fourth quarter. So, it's when when you take all those things into consideration and then also understand, I mean, we were a much worse team coming in. We had the least expectations. Broncos had higher expectations than what we had in terms of a team. Like, we're first year in a rebuild, right?
Yeah,
So the expectations definitely weren't there for JD. So the fact that JD's coming in and having so much success,
yeah,
all this success, man, it's just like it's
Mhm.
amazing because
Amazing.
it's a difference between. I mean, he elevates the team. A
yeah,
difference between coming on a team that's stacked like Caleb, he elevates our team.
yeah.
Okay. Caleb is on a team that's stacked and he's still not playing well. Yeah, they have their issues with the coaching staff, but that's neither here or there. We don't want to hear the damn excuses.
Nope.
Okay. The point is that JD's producing and week in and week out. And if he closes this season out as we project coming out of a bye, him and Bo Nix are coming out of a bye. So ironic. They both have the same bye week. So yeah, week 14.
All right, fair
Uh-huh.
enough.
Yeah, Bo has week 14 bye. We got our same bye. So the point is that we go in and finish out the season. We finish it off strong. I think offensive rookie of the year is
Wrapped
in the
up.
hands of our very own Jedi 5.
Hey,
Yeah, I don't think anybody's beating Jayden out of that race. I mean, Bo Nix is making a case for it though. Like, and Bo Nix is amazing in his own right. Like, he's running the ball, he's passing the ball, he's even
Yeah.
catching the ball.
yeah,
He's doing everything right now for Denver. So Bo Nix
yeah,
is really, really good. And honestly, Kenny will tell you, Bo Nix, I was all in favor at that
Yep.
number 2 spot. If somebody else wanted to give us a king's ransom to come up and draft Jayden, I was all in favor for giving that up and going down and getting a guy like Bo Nix
right.
and just stacking up. I was saying that from the jump.
You did.
I've all been on it. And Brock Bowers, Kenny stole him from me in fantasy. I was literally about to draft him. We were on the phone together during the draft, and I was
Ooh,
like, "You're never gonna guess who I'm gonna pick up." And then he's like, "Guess who I'm drafting? Brock Bowers." And I'm like, "Man." So I was already sharp on that one because he just stood out so much coming out of that draft. Like
yeah.
I really had my eyes on him in that draft. I also surprisingly, what's the name of the guy who plays for the Giants? Theo Johnson was another
Theo
guy I had my
Johnson.
eyes on
Yeah.
coming in to this draft as well. So yeah, man, it's good stuff, but nobody's dethroning Jayden. I think if the team continues to play like they played and have been playing, because defense has been playing lights out the last 4 or 5 weeks, in my opinion.
For the
Even
most
in
part,
those
yeah.
games we lost, like the
Yep.
defense was just gassed because the
Yeah.
offense wasn't holding up the end of the
Well,
bargain. I think
the
that
Dallas the Dallas game special teams sold us that game. That
definitely
wasn't even
special
defense.
teams
That
sold
was
that.
special teams because
Mm,
they
mm,
were
Yeah,
mm, mm.
special that day.
yeah.
It was very
Um,
special.
like to me, St. Juice lost us the Steelers game. It wasn't defense,
Yep,
it was just him.
juice.
The Eagles game, that was
It
pure
was
defense.
defense.
How do
That
you
was
let
defense.
Saquon had 2 touchdowns in 30 seconds of game time?
Yeah, that
Mm.
was
Or
all
what or
defense.
2 minutes of game
Because
time.
Yeah, it
That's all
at
that
that
was.
point
was.
they were gassed, and like those Eagles O line, what everybody's like 6'5" on that O
Yeah.
line and like 300
Yep.
pounds, but runs like a 4.6 or something. It's
Hmm.
crazy. Like
It's
And
insane.
then
Now they're built, man. The
mhm.
Eagles are built for their championship built team, to be quite
yeah,
honest.
Yeah, I'll touch on the current MVP race and we'll kind of get out of here. NFL MVP. It's between Josh and Saquon. I think Josh is gonna get it because of it's a QB award, the narrative. He's never won it. The Bills are to me they're the best team in the AFC. They beat the Chiefs. He got engaged to Hailey Steinfeld, and I know people who are fans of hers. I keep seeing memes. So and so fell to his knees at Walmart. I'm like, dude, get over yourself. All right,
Yeah,
but if Saquon breaks that 2,000, 2,100 yard threshold, there might not be a choice. He might rip that MVP because I thought CMC should have won it last year over Lamar.
I agree. I think Saquon's gonna get it if he especially if he gets over 2K. He
Yeah.
gets over 2K,
Oh
he
yeah.
should
yeah.
get it.
He,
And then I mean, really, Lamar deserves it. But if he won more games, that's it. That
Yeah.
that's all he had to do was win more games. He jumped down the race only because of his loss last week. Um, if they're 8-5 right now.
The Ravens are. I believe the Ravens are 8-5.
Yeah, they're 8-5. So they have our record. When you look at it from that perspective, I told you if that's what it comes down to. If Lamar was winning more games, because his statistics are the best statistics he's ever put up. He has the best
Hmm.
passing numbers. Russia, I mean, he's throwing for more touchdowns. He's more accurate, more
Right.
highest completion percentage, and he's ever had in his career. Like he is shitting on his numbers from
Yeah.
previous seasons. So when you look at that from that perspective, all they had to do was win. If they're winning,
Mhm.
I think Lamar would have been handed the MVP trophy. Honestly, it was between him and I mean even Derrick Henry, dude. Like
Yeah.
Derrick Henry is putting up numbers, but
Yeah.
but
What,
the but the
1,400 yards right now?
yeah, he's killing it.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're both in the race, Saquon and Derek, but Saquon is coming from a position of adversity, okay,
Yeah.
where
Mhm.
they didn't know that like no one knew that he was going to come in on the Eagles and have this kind of
No.
season.
I
No
think
one
we all
expected this.
I think we could have all predicted 1,000, just a little over 1,000 and maybe 10. I think we all could have said that's
Yeah,
reasonable.
and he probably would have
Mhm.
missed a couple games, but he's
Yeah.
been healthy the entire
Entire
season.
time.
So that's the crazy part for me is like
Yeah.
Saquon,
I
and then
don't.
the crazy hurdle, the signature hurdle
Oh,
that he had this season.
I think the
That
hurdle alone gives him MVP.
gives
Like
him
when I saw that
MVP.
hurdle, I was
Oh,
just like, at that moment, I was just like, you know what, Saquon, you got it.
you got it.
You're the best player in the league right
You
now.
got it. Because there's
You
no
got it,
one.
bro. Like,
Dude,
who's doing that? Who is
No one.
doing that? I've never
yeah,
seen that
man.
in my life. I haven't even seen that in Madden.
Nope.
Like, who's doing
It was
that?
so spectacular. They just put it in Madden.
Yep.
Correct.
I'm just like, this.
And he just broke a record for the single what was the single game
Something like that.
record.
Something like
Yeah,
that,
the
yeah.
single
Yeah.
Russia game record. Yeah,
It was like
he broke that record.
243 or something like that.
247, right? He broke it
Yeah.
was 256 or something like that. He put up. I can't remember the exact number, but I don't know if you guys remember, and this is one thing that I love, and this is why I believe he deserves a trophy too, was coach Nick came down, sat next to him, was like, "Hey Saquon," he was mic'd up, and he was like, "Hey Saquon," he was like, and it wasn't against the Giants. I believe too. This was the game. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? Do you
What
guys
Yeah, where he
exactly?
was
reference it?
like, "Hey, we could put you in, and you can go ahead and get that."
Yeah, you could get the
Yeah,
Record.
record
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
he could
And
have
he
got
said
the record,
no.
but then he got it a couple weeks later anyway,
Yeah.
right? But he said no. He was like, "Nah, I want the young
The
guys
young
to eat."
guys in.
He said, "I
Hmm.
want the young guys to eat." Do you know how much humility that takes for as an athlete, a competitive athlete that, and you know that you got this record on the line that you
Hmm.
can go after, and it's like, "Nah, I'm gonna let the young guys eat." What? That
Dude.
says a lot just about the person. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
he deserves it.
Mhm. Yeah, he deserves it. Like you speak to it, the humility alone. Like, he's a division rival, yes, but like just because he's on a rival team doesn't mean we have to act blind and
Right.
act like he's not a good football player. He's a great football player. He's a Seems like he's an even better person than he
Yeah.
is a football player as
Oh, for
well
sure.
too. Because you don't hear anything about Saquon outside of the
Nothing.
media on the field. You don't hear none of that. And
Mm-mm.
he's such a humble guy. And I think with humility just comes so much uplift, man, naturally. So yeah, shout out to Saquon.
So,
I think he's definitely, in my opinion, deserving of that record over Josh Allen because Josh Allen doesn't even have better season stats than Lamar Jackson
yeah.
right now. He just has more wins. So I definitely
Yeah.
think that should go to Saquon.
I just don't think it'll go to Lamar because there've been
Nah, I
back
don't
to
think so.
back and 3 and 5 years. It's gonna be voter fatigue. It's like why we can't give Mahomes any more MVPs. He might like this is the worst statistical season of Mahomes' career, and they're still 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
It's I think statistically they're the worst 11-1 team like NFL history.
Ever.
That's crazy.
Like ever. I mean, if you look at all their games, you see how they win?
Blocked
Yeah, they
field
went
goals,
ugly.
penalties,
The most
fumbles.
ugliest ways that I would have ever thought. This was like, how can I, I don't know,
Man,
man. Damn
Yeah,
near
they
all
went
of those
super
games they
ugly.
could have lost.
yeah.
Yeah.
Should have lost to the Ravens week 1, except Isaiah likely got 2 big feet for the end zone. Should have lost to
Yes.
Denver. Should have
Yes.
lost to the Raiders. Like
Yep.
they should be 8-5, 7-6 right now,
Yep.
not 11-1. But man, I'm not gonna keep y'all here too much longer. We can keep going all night, but we all got sleep.
We
We all
love
got
this.
lives in the morning. But we
Yeah.
do it for the love. Do it for the love. But any closing remarks y'all want to give us and give to the people as we kind of head into the bye weekend for us?
Um, all I'll say is, Commander Nation, let's enjoy this right now. Let's have fun, man. Like
Yep.
let's enjoy the fact that we are on a bye week late in the season and our team is 8-5 with playoff
Phil
implications. Not
John.
even just on the line. Like John said, like we don't have it on the line. Like right now, we're pretty much a lock just we control our own destiny. This has
Yeah.
been a
Yes, we
long
do.
time since we've entered the playoffs with a winning record and in
Yes.
control of our destiny in
Mm,
December. So, Fan Nation, enjoy. That's all I gotta
enjoy
say.
it.
Tranquilo, relax, have fun watching football with no anxiety and stress this weekend. Like,
How
hey,
about
place a
that?
parlay or two if that's your thing.
Hey,
You might even want to go to church. You might want to go to temple, whatever you believe. Do something for yourself today, this weekend, y'all. Enjoy the bye.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it, man.
man.
So, I've been looking at the gram of all of our players. They all on trips. They're enjoying time with family. I've been seeing them all out the country,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm telling you, like I love it because it's like I'm looking at the way our players. I've never seen our players say, "Oh, we just have a weekend where we could just fly out, go to this city or that
Never.
country, and just enjoy." Most of the time, I'm sure most of our players on bye week, especially on the ones that were like when we are, 4-9 going into the bye, or we're awful,
Yeah. They
whatever our
working.
record may be. They're working, they're working. These guys are literally enjoying it. I remember when Terry got off that press conference, he was like, I'm really gonna enjoy this. Like, and I was like, you deserve it, Terry. Like, you really, really do, man. The type of work you've been putting in, like
Man.
everyone on the team deserves that bye week. As a fan base, we deserve it too, man. So let's go ahead and go into this. Let's go into this bye with our heads up high.
Man. Man, I remember when Lake Lewis said in week 3, talked to him early in their season, fans, this is the happiest I have ever seen Terry McLaurin, and he has deserved it and
Mm-hmm.
earned it through the
Mhm.
13 starting QBs he has had in his
Mm-hmm.
career. Jayden is consistent. He is a leader. He's a man of the people. Like every time you see pregame stuff, Terry signing autographs, Jayden signing autographs, you hear like MVP chants. Like when do you hear MVP chants in Northwest FedEx Field? Never.
Never.
Unless Tressway's punter.
Oh, Tressway's fun. And Tressway I think only has like not even 30 punts on the year.
Oh, he broke the record.
Barely.
He broke the all-time record for Commanders, well, Redskins
Oh yeah,
history.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I saw
just
that part.
he just
Of
broke
like
the
most
punting
punts.
record. Most punting yards.
Oh
Most punting yards.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
he right
crazy.
now, yeah, he
Like
has
37,000 some change.
Wow.
yeah, so Tressway, and then we'll get out of here. He has 37 punts on the year.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's it. What
I love it.
which is
what have you
great.
played? 13, 8, 5, 13 games.
Like you all said earlier.
Yeah, I was looking. It was only a few games. I think he had six in one game, five in the other, and the rest
Yeah.
were like less than three. There
Yeah.
was yeah, and
And
Titans he punted once.
yeah, Tennessee punted once, the Giants he punted twice, Philly was 5, Pittsburgh Dallas was 6. That's half his
Okay,
season
that's
right
over.
there.
We're done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so in his career, 763 punts, 35,760 punt yards.
amazing. Let's go. Let's punt our way into this bye.
Yeah.
Hey, great
Hey man.
segue.
Hey man. That is a great segue. But yeah, let's get out of here. Let's enjoy the bye week. Let's put our hands behind our head, put our feet up on the desk, enjoy a martini, enjoy a brewski, enjoy the sweet
Mhm.
tea, whatever you indulge in. Um, and it's a Christmas season. Go out to Busch
There
Gardens.
you
Go out
go.
to see the lights on the beach.
Yeah. Go
Get
do something.
festive. Go buy a Commander's holiday hat or go buy the Christmas
Yeah,
Funko. I know I am. Um,
definitely.
but as we got here, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe here on BIB Road to 500 subscribers. Hopefully by Christmas. That's my Christmas, wish
Hit that
for the
button,
YouTube
y'all. Get them
algorithm. Man,
there. Get
hit
them
it.
there.
There you go. Get him
Come on,
there.
yeah.
Get him there, guys.
Come on, y'all. Instagram and TikTok at Ballin In Burgundy Podcast. Twitter at BIB Podcast 22 because Twitter hates long usernames. And then at OTF Podcast, Instagram, Twitter. If y'all got a Facebook, it's going to be on Facebook.
Mhm.
And then Kenny's and Reb's personal accounts down in the description. Go give them a follow. It's always a blast talking to y'all, seeing y'all doing y'all's thing. And y'all getting there too. Just keep it up, man.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you,
Appreciate you,
John.
bro.
We always love collaborating and being on Ballin in Burgundy,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Thank you for the love.
Appreciate y'all. But like Kenny said, let's punt into this bye week. Let's enjoy it. Let's have a festive holiday bye week, and be on the lookout because come Monday, Tuesday, come this next week, we might be dabbling into our college football content, a little mock draft, if you will.
Uh-oh.
Because hey, it's December. It's mock
That
draft. It's
season.
officially mock draft season, y'all.
Yeah,
Whether
it
it's
It is.
is.
21, 24, 25, we gonna be in the 20s. We gonna be all right.
Yes.
All right. but you're not gonna look forward to it until like and subscribe and go follow all of us. But that being said, let's enjoy the bye. Let's enjoy the holiday spirit. Let's get you some eggnog. Let's raise hail and let's stay ballin', guys. We'll see y'all out there.
Right.